I think I shall never know why I am thus and I am so. Around me, other girls inspire in men the rush and roar of fire, the sweet transparency of glass, the tenderness of April grass, the durability of granite. But me, I don't know how to plan it. The lads I've met in Cupid's deadlock were, shall we say, born out of wedlock. Explaining so to sop my tears, first came their parents or careers. They broke my heart, they stilled my song, and said they had to run along. But ever does experience deny me wisdom, calm, and sense. Though she's a fool who seeks to capture the 21st fine, careless rapture. I must go on till ends my rope. Who from birth was cursed with hope. A heart in half is chaste, archaic, but mine resembles a mosaic. The things become ridiculous. Why am I so? Why am I thus? Hello, I'm Cynthia Bredson, and I hope you enjoyed the presentation you just watched of Dorothy Parker's A Fairly Sad Tale. Tiny bit about me. My background is in film history. My late twin sister Sarah and I used to write books for the University Press of Kentucky on Old Hollywood and Broadway. I'm focusing now on my other loves, literature and art. So, on to a discussion of Dorothy Parker. She's probably one of the best known and often quoted writers of the Jazz Age, and she was part of the famous, or infamous, Algonquin Round Table in New York City. It was a group of writers, entertainers, who would meet at the Algonquin Hotel in New York, and they'd swap quips with each other, just kind of show off for each other. Other members of the Round Table, except for Dorothy, were Harold Ross. He co-founded The New Yorker, writer, actor, and comic Robert Benchley, author Edna Ferber, she wrote Showboat most famously, playwright Robert Sherwood, and comedian Harpo Marx. Just a few of the very quotable quotes by Dorothy Parker. The first thing I do in the morning is brush my teeth and sharpen my tongue. What fresh hell is this? And men seldom make passes at girls who wear glasses. I try not to take that last one too personally, but it's funny because it's true. As an aside, my twin sister Sarah and I tried to start a literary magazine in high school called The Algonquin. Not sure how many people got the reference. The magazine didn't make it past a year, but we really tried. We just loved The Algonquin Round Table, everything about it so much. Anyway, Dorothy Parker was known for her light verse, but it's actually quite melancholic. Her first book of poetry, Enough Rope, has a title that alludes to suicide. And it has a number of poems inside that relate to the subject as well. Parker herself attempted suicide numerous times and had an addiction to alcohol, and she was quite unlucky in love. She couldn't seem to find anybody who really stuck or appreciated her, as detailed in the Fairly Sad Tale poem that you just saw. Her own dark humor, cloaked in almost sentimental phrasing of her poetry, reflected the mood of what Gertrude Stein called the lost generation of post-World War I. It was defined by disillusionment, loss of identity, and a fair dose of hedonism. All the old values and traditions seemed meaningless after the horrors of the war, and society was still reeling and finding its footing after the huge changes of the Industrial Revolution. To me, Parker's poem of The Unfortunate Woman, it's kind of like society itself. She's much like, I'm going to borrow a Leonard Cohen lyric here, she feels forsaken, almost human. She has a lot of self-doubt, a lot of self-deprecation, but there's no self-pity, just more of a sense of resignation. The poem left me wondering if there's such thing as perfect love. There certainly didn't seem to be for Parker. Love for her and for many people seems to be paired with gnashing of teeth. It's an emotional roller coaster and seems to always end in disillusionment. But that doesn't mean that it's not worth it. Much of Parker's poetry, you can tell that she does think it's worth it. She still was cursed with hope that she'll find it. She quipped, "I was always sweet at first. Oh, it's so easy to be sweet to people before you love them." Anyway, I'll move on to the music now, a bit about George Gershwin. Gershwin wrote the song used in this video, Promenade, shortly before his death in 1937. The film in which it was featured was Shall We Dance? It was one of Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers' many musicals, and it's used in a scene showing Ginger Rogers walking a dog across a ship deck, and Fred Astaire is trying to catch her eye, and she's quite annoyed. So the playful mood of the tune reminded me a bit of Parker's work. Gershwin really captured the mood of New York in the 20s, even if you didn't know anything about him, anything about the name of the song that you were listening to. I bet you that Great Gatsby-esque images would pop into your head when you heard his songs. He really had his pulse on the mood of his era. Now onto the artwork. It's by a personal favorite artist of mine, Tamara De Lempicka. She was born in Poland, but she lived all around the world: France, US, Mexico. She was known for her ability to capture the sleek high life of post-war cosmopolitans, and she led as glamorous and passionate a life as the subjects in her art. She was a prime example of Art Deco. It was a style of art that much opposed its predecessor, Art Nouveau, which was more nature-inspired. Art Deco was angular and representative of modernity in urban settings. Many of the shapes in Art Deco kind of mimic the shapes of skyscrapers if you look closely. But there's a romanticism and sensuality to her work too, much like Parker's poetry. It's a mix of hard and soft. I'm going to leave you with a quote from Dorothy Parker, showing her dark humor once again. She's so quotable. She said that on her tombstone should be the words, "Wherever she went, including here, it was against her better judgment." Please leave any comments below on the video, poetry, anything. And I will see you next week.